I'm Louis Jadd, WVU Extension Horticulture Specialist, and I want to talk about some of the problems we're seeing with tomatoes this year, particularly related to ripening and some of the maturity issues we're seeing. Commonly what we're seeing when the tomato ripens is some of this splitting that occurs, and this is just down the length of the fruit. You just see tears in the skin of the tomato. This is usually caused by wide temperature fluctuations that occur during the day. It can be, low to mid 90s, and then it cools off a little bit at night. That causes the fruit to expand and contract and causes the skin to actually rip. So that is usually what causes this splitting on the skin. That's not to be confused with what we call cracking. And cracking is a real deep suture that develops on the fruit, usually at the top of the fruit. Sometimes it occurs at the bottom, but usually it's mostly on the top. And this is caused by erratic watering, and we're not watering uniformly throughout the growing season, so letting it dry out and then wet and then dry, that causes this cracking to occur. Sometimes it's genetics related. Some of the thin-skinned tomato varieties that we grow, some of the heirloom varieties, are more prone to cracking than others. But the main thing to control cracking is to mulch tomatoes with either hay or straw or wood chips, or using even a fabric or a plastic material. That conserves soil moisture and keeps the soil from drying out rapidly. And also just adding or watering the plant every day or every other day. Tomatoes, when they're fruiting, they can require 3 quarts to a gallon of water per plant per day. So providing that water more uniformly throughout the growing season will prevent this cracking that we typically see. We also see problems on the bottom of the fruit, which we call the blossom end. This looks a lot like blossom end rot, which is caused by calcium deficiency, and that's from irregular watering or insufficient watering. But in this particular case, we had some hornworm problems on our tomatoes, and they actually sort of grazed the bottom of the fruit, and it sort of turned black like this. But this looks very similar to blossom end rot, but it's also hornworm damage. But to solve the blossom end rot issue is to just make sure your soil calcium levels are adequate, and also provide even, uniform watering of the tomato throughout the growing season. And the mulching will help with that significantly.